All right, welcome. We're back for another Traveler campaign episode and continue to make use of AI out there, both OpenAI and that's ChatGPT and Google Bard. And if you watched the previous video, our situation is the IISS Intrepid has jumped into this new system. They did the initial scan of the system, identifying the bodies, the orbits, etc. You can look, I think, back 2 videos using the World Builder's Handbook as their guide. And then we started last video with their decision to refuel first. Found out the outer gas giant through the scene effect wasn't able to be used for it for whatever reason, storms, etc. So then our ISS Intrepid moved towards the next closest gas giant, where I did roll, and actually we rolled this in AI. They had a starship encounter, and then we rolled it further, and it turned out to be an Imperial scout ship. I think it was this one we used. So this is Google Bard, and here we go. They gave the odds of stuff to generate a random ship encounter, traveler rules, and I was able to pull the traveler rules, and we ended up with, wow, that would have been a bummer, an alien warship. But at close distance, initially neutral, a ship of the Imperium. And let's see, they give you some more details here. And then they give us the situation, what should we do? And they respond as we're the IISS Intrepid. And then the other ship identifies itself as the IISS Vigilant under a Captain Zhao. And they choose to work together for the rest of the system. I did ask one last question. Apparently the Vigilant's been here long enough that they did do a survey of the main world. They say it was uninhabited but breathable atmosphere, which means flora and fauna probably. Scanned it from orbit. They didn't actually land. So they agree to work together. They're going to have to exchange info. So the next step, though, first is the Intrepid needs to do a gas giant refuel. So I decided to push AI a little further, and I took these gas giant rules here. They're only 2 pages, and I just dumped them here into OpenAI, ChatGPT, and I said at first summarize it just to make sure that they had got the rules, and it did talk about skimming for fuel, pirates, they got the different layers, some additional factors, but this pretty much told me it did the rules, and it says use the gas giant rules, appropriate die rules, documented Scout S ship performing a refueling, 10 tons of fuel. Jump 1 takes 10% of the weight of a ship in fuel, and the Scout S is 100 tons, so that's where I got the 10 tons. And then it did it. Now this time it just went right for the deep zone, which you got to go through the shallow zone first. Extreme shallow, yeah, here we go. Once you cross into shallow, you got to do a pilot check. And then once you cross into deep, you do another pilot check. So this was the first test, and it kind of worked. And then it did the rolls for how long it takes. 2D minutes. Okay. Skimming is at the normal rate, and conditions tend to be sufficiently determined. Pilot checks are made with a DM -2. I think it caught that too. Yeah, there's a DM -2. So I kept playing with it. Do it again, generate the die rolls for first crossing into the shallow layer and then for crossing into the deep layer using a +1 die roll modifier for pilot skill. Now this is where something funny happened. I told it should have been 2d6, but somehow it's rolling too high here. And then we got another one too high. DM -1, DM for deep zone with a +1 modifier, so it got that right. So roll 2d6, I did that as a test. Okay, do the refueling operation again. To the shallow layer, then the deep layer. Pilot skill +1 modifier, and the appropriate dial for each layer. Calculating time for 10 tons. And again, it did it too big. but it calculated the skimming. So, using the gas giant rules, have a ship cross into the shallow. Now I'm going to just break it into pieces. Let's just do the shallow with a DRM of +1. Now this time it didn't include the -1, so, but this is a valid roll. So 6 and 5 is 11, that's clearly over 8, so I just took this as, yeah, it goes to the shallow. And then now simulate crossing into the deep layer. And again, it did the +1, but not the -2, so this should have been -1, but that's still barely an 8. So we'll just say it made it. And so it did make it. We got the documentation. Then I said, using the rules, time to refuel, 10 tons. And it generated it again. But I said do it again this time, but do the individual D6s, just to make sure it's getting D6s. And that is correct, 1 hour, 26 minutes. So I think this time we'll just take that for the Intrepid. The last time they tried gas refueling, it kept bouncing off the, probably the deep layer. Yeah, that's what they kept doing, almost to the point of damage. It was getting ridiculous. But this time we'll just take these rolls. Got to tweak this a little more, but. And now I said to end it, write a narrative based on the above, successful refueling, and then I got in the IIS Vigilante, which I pulled from here. I'm using this narrative here to name that other ship. I named the captains, basically said they meet in orbit, and that does top cover, and then they exchange afterwards. So, interesting flowery language here, but the Intrepid, under the capable command of Captain Burnett, routine survey in the outer reaches. Yeah, that's where they won. Where the fuel gauge blinked ominously. Well, maybe not. If I had, I'd probably tweak that. Gas Giant's impressive rings had beckoned them with their tanks running dangerously low. No, they just need 10 tons. They bumped into the Vigilante captain by the experienced Captain Zhao. Came into view. Probably better on their sensors, but Vigilante, this Captain Burnett, came the smooth voice over the intercom. Intercom? Well, we find ourselves in predicament. We need some gas. Captain Burnett, we'd be happy to offer our support. Let's coordinate our approach and ensure a safe refueling operation. And begins descent. Captain Burnett expertly guided the ship. As the skimming commenced, Captain Zhao's voice echoed through the comm channel, providing words of encouragement and guidance. The Vigilante's presence above offered a reassuring sense of security. All right, go team. Pass after pass, we filled. They were grateful for the support. Everybody's butts here. After they felt like an eternity, but it was just over an hour. I'll go back. Then emerging from the depths of the gas giant, ascending into orbit, they regrouped. Thank you, Captain Zhao and the Vigilante crew. We couldn't have done it without you, right? Hearty laugh. It's what we scouts do best, watching each other's backs. No, you kind of operate on your own, but it's interesting. Now let's share some survey data on that main world. Perhaps we've stumbled upon something worth investigating further. And here we go. The camaraderie and shared sense of adventure among the crews of the Intrepid and Vigilante were palpable. They were explorers, charting the unknown, and their journey was far from over. Wow. Wow, I'm inspired. Okay. So, interesting narrative. And then the other cool thing of doing this in AI is basically this stuff is saved. I can log into it, and all this text is here, which I kind of showed you here. Now, I did try and continue on, and this was not successful. I took the World Builder's Handbook, and I tried to dump the text in just for the portion around here, calculating here, and doing this. Copy paste doesn't cut it with these charts. These tables that didn't work, so I may have to look. But it would be nice to run this through. So I did give it a shot, and it said calculate diameter size 4. That was the first thing you do here. Calculate the diameter. Dropped it in, and they kind of summarized it. That's fine. But I did see it kept getting stuck on a 6, and it's a size 4. Let's come back here. Yeah, size 4s are actually 6,400 clicks. And then you roll, I believe it's the D3 and the 1D. to get the variance, but this got stuck on 1600. So I kept trying to get it to work, but the problem is it can't consume these tables, which is a problem here. Now, what I can do, and I haven't really tried this, that may be my next video, because it'd be nice to have AI do this. Otherwise, I can work this through and, do it myself. I mean, you can do stuff like this. Roll 1d3 and 1d6. There you go. I can use this as a die roller. It's pretty cool. And then I could look at this and I could calculate and I could work my way through that way, which I'm probably going to do. The next video is going to be getting all the data on the main world, which the Intrepid doesn't have to go and do per se. This is transmitted data now from the Vigilante. And then I've got the bigger question I have to sort out. Why is the Vigilante here? Previously, in one of the AIs, it said something about anomaly, etc. But along with that, why wasn't the Intrepid told? Just like I think they suspected these other empires, and that's why her other friend was there to meet her at the edge of Qatari. Here we go, the Endurance. So there's more going on here than meets the eye from Captain Burnett's point of view, so I'll have to sort those reasons out next. So, but there is a way in Bard, and I haven't pushed this too much. Oh, Bard got updated. Let's see what we got here. I don't want to see the update anymore. How do I get back? Can I do a back? No, I can't. Can I do a Bard? Okay, here we go. Yeah, I tried a Gas Giants in Bard and it didn't work out. This is it. You can actually put a PDF in one of these shared locations. And click the new button, select file up, choose PDF, open. Once the PDF is there, acceptable format. Most third-party servers support PDF, but some may not. I don't know why. Well, PDF must be readable, must not be corrupted or password protected, and it must be small enough to upload. Okay. So somehow I share the link and then tell it to use the rules. So I'm going to try that next. Just give that a shot. But again, if that doesn't work, either way, the next step is to generate, using the New World Builder's Handbook, to generate the characteristics of the main world, and then make a decision on what to do next. I think there is a areas of interest table. I think what may have been in the sector rule, which I don't have up right now, but there may be an areas of interest table in the sector handbook, which I may use next. So yeah, next video, I'm going to tell you the results of trying to get Bard to reference this document from a shared location and see if it can interpret these rules and generate them. If not, then I'll manually go through and do it, and then we'll use the areas of interest, and then we'll have to resolve, is there anything worth investigating more, and what's the vigilante and why is it there, so we can answer those questions in the next video, and try and do it in such a way that I kind of like generating it here in AI, because amongst other things, it's all saved too. At some point I'm going to copy this out. But so there we go. The Intrepid has successfully, with the assistance in the sense that the Vigilante flew top cover and didn't need to put a drone out, but they have successfully done a refueling, and they've come back up, and now the Vigilante and Intrepid are going to decide what to do next after Captain Bernhardt and the Intrepid takes a look at the main world data that the Vigilante has collected. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here at a reasonable 14 minutes, and we'll see you at the next video. Thanks for listening.